Good morning and welcome to episode 1129 of Hard Factor. It is Monday, January 23rd, 2023. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. Today, I've got the return of the Soft Corner, fan favorite segment, the Soft Corner, and much, much more in the cup of coffee in the big time. After that, Mark's got a new segment about a couple of insane dudes on deck.
Yeah, I've got a title for it. I'm going to hold off, and it's definitely copywritten. So,
can I ask a question?
Nice. Yeah.
Hard Factor. Are these dudes like and you don't have to answer if the question takes away some sort of reveal, but are these dudes like some sort of like, are they twins or are they like a couple? Are they like Harry and Marv?
They're two completely different stores in two different locations, but they're both hound dogs. I would say they're
Ow.
Yeah, ow, ow. I mean, they're both
nice.
They're both getting after it this week.
Okay, let me ask you this. Last question: Is it possible that these guys who are in totally different locations are wiener cousins or milk brothers?
Did you just watch the movie Twins or something?
When you say two insane guys, I love the idea of when two shitheads get together and form like a rolling ball of shithead that's significantly more shitheadery than just them individually.
Right.
They both pulled off
Twins.
They both pulled off crazy. Well, yes, one of
the plot of Twins. Yeah, kind of.
One of the guys is more like Danny DeVito, and one of the guys is probably more like Arnold.
More Arnold?
Yeah.
Cool. It is like twins. All right.
Yeah.
Pat's got a drunk Canadian driver in the hole. So typical.
Dude, not only that, while researching this story, I discovered an epidemic that's taking place in Canada that I don't think anyone has shined light on. And I'm excited to get y'all's take on it because, well, you'll see. In about 40 minutes, I put together a video clip that will blow your mind when you see this pattern of what's happening in Canada.
You got to keep your eye on those Canucks. You know, they get up to a lot of north of the border there. And Wes is off filming a wedding. And on that note, how to support the podcast. Sign up for the Hive Hour and Florida Man Friday bonus podcasts. Those are weekly additional podcasts to the daily news show and our Discord server. Those are all available at patreon.com/hardfactor. Maybe join the golden elbow tier just to tell us you love us. Basically, lots of people getting in on that. Or join the next Fatathon over there if you want to get ready for Fat Boy Summer 023 with us. That's always fun. Patreon.com.
Let's get that going.
It's coming soon. We all need it. Let's be honest. We all
Feb
need it.
1.
Yeah, very
Something
soon.
like that. Yeah.
Very soon. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Pods if you want to hear it on Friday's show, store.hardfactor.com. For all the newest comfort tees up to 4XL, including this cup of coffee in the big time that I'm wearing right now. It's beautiful.
You got a gold chain on, too.
Very comfortable. Yeah, well, I had an LSU jersey on earlier. You know, we're watching some football games.
Chain
LSU
gang.
LSU players playing pretty good.
Yeah.
In that,
Love that. They always are. I know. Did you notice
playoff games?
Did you notice Fournette rocking his under pads?
He always wears a lot of alum wear the gold, purple and gold shoulder pads. They don't ever give them up.
I love that. It's like a tiny little nod. You see it, and you only see it when they're in intense plays where their shoulder pads get exposed, which also is in turn exposing their true colors in two ways. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I really should be rocking some Eagles gear. I spilt a little bit of cheese and wine and beer on my Eagles jersey, but I have other Eagles gear because, I mean, good Lord.
They put, what a hurting they put on the Giants. That was incredible. That was incredible.
We'll tell you what, though.
We'll talk a little bit of football in a little bit. But
Eagles-Bengals would be a great Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, I'd prefer Andy Reid and the Kelsey brothers, Chiefs.
I mean, we'll see
there's
what
a lot
happens.
of stories. Eagles, Chiefs has better stories, but the Bengals
we'll see
are a
what
damn good
happens.
team.
We will see what happens. You guys ready to do the news?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Okay, Cup of Coffee in the Big Time is up first.
Yeah, cup of coffee in the big time.
Top trending news at the time of taping. But first, I'm going to do a joke. You know I'm a big fun fact guy, but going for the joke today because the joke thread is on fire. Also, I have another fun fact. But here's the joke. Tom M. says, my boss is threatening to fire the employee with the worst posture, and I have a hunch it might be me.
He's got a hunch, so he's out.
Yeah, great one. Great dad joke. More dad jokes in there. Mama C, Father Brian, Hard Factor Tony, all of them just letting them rip in the joke of the day thread. Fun fact, though, had to have one for you. A man in Georgia claims to have sex with female aliens since he was the age of 17. And there's his depiction of one of them.
This is the guy that's painting them?
Yeah. Yeah, he paints them because they
guys believe victims though. I'm serious about that.
They look like they have the same parts as regular women.
Yeah, it's weird like that, Mark. It's just a woman with an alien head. But he says they've been doing it on the reg since he was 17.
Well,
I don't know
he
if it's
looks
the same alien or not.
He looks like that
Vice
guy.
did a special on him though. So
he looks like that guy who Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia did. That is that guy. It's the guy. It's the guy that Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia went and
put
did.
him
He
back up. Put him
did
in the
DMT
alien
with
back
this
up.
guy. I know this guy.
Vice
they
just
did a whole
thing
documentary on
on
this
They've
guy.
got perfect
This guy's a
breasts
king.
and a vagina, and then an alien face.
Dude, this guy's a king.
Pretty cool. He gets to bang aliens, Pat.
Yeah.
I mean,
Done
did you know?
every drug like 10,
no
15
way.
times. No, that's his whole thing. The guy Hamilton on Vice, who's like, his show's pretty great. It's I'll go do drugs with you and experience it. He was like, whoa, bro. Like, this is season 3, and you're a little intense for me.
Did he mention like
doing so much drugs, Pat, he's fucking aliens in his mind. So
Yeah, did he mention like if the aliens like are like more flexible or like more aggressive in sex?
in every way better than human women, I'm sure.
Is that what he said? Yeah.
It started when he was 17, and if more people were open to it, they would also
What a
have the
life
alien
this
sex.
guy's had.
I want to
banging
say he
aliens.
casually busts like a meth pipe out during that episode too.
I'm
I want to say that, which
He's
is
got to
a very
have a lot of chemicals in the mix to keep that going.
yeah. It's very
He warned
off-brand
you.
for the show.
He warns you ahead of time that it's not going to be normal when the subject matter is him banging aliens, right? So
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, right. Well, fun fact, he lives in Georgia. So, quick updates real quick. I know the fellas have some more updates later, but these are some fast ones at the top. Leeds United got a huge tie, a result that we needed, fellas, against Brentford on Sunday. Ties are big in soccer.
What's the
believe it or
biggest
not.
problem with soccer? We'll just explain it to you.
We needed that
we
result,
got a huge
guys.
tie.
We've had a string of big tie results, and so that's fantastic. They call it a draw in footy.
Right.
Also, the lemon versus lime debate is hot in the heart of Hive streets. Everybody's getting in on it. Lemon versus lime. Let us know your thoughts wherever you can. People are very passionate. We have lemon guys, I feel like, on air right now, but Wes,
Well,
there's a lot
look,
of lime.
I did a lot of thinking. I might have to jump ship.
Woo, no way.
You're
Lemon-
such a fucking traitor, dude.
I might have to
forever.
go lime.
Lemon for life.
Yeah, the Mexican food.
Hey, look, basically, if it's do you like Mexican and Thai above French and Italian?
I know,
That's
and I
basically
go back and
what it
forth.
comes down
Currently, at
to.
this point in my life, I think I do. I think
French
I'm
and
a
Italian.
right now.
I'm a
It's
quarter
so-
Italian. I
it's
speak
so-
French. Cannot turn my back on the line.
It's so
It's close.
short-sighted.
Lemons,
It's
sorry.
I
so
know,
short-sighted.
I'm not
Mark.
happy about it, but I think that that's where my heart is right now. I think
The lemon's
that
versatile.
It makes me concerned because it makes me like I'm concerned you're going to get scammed sometime in your life. Now, when you
Well,
saying this, I'm worried you're going to like lose a house sometime.
Who on
What
the
happened?
pod? Who in the pod is the most likely to get scammed?
Well, look, you're talking
Wes.
all
Wes.
of us. Well, Wes
So
may
it
be the
seems like
most.
lime guys
Maybe
in
the
general.
most, Wes, but all of us.
It seems like lime guys in general have an issue with this.
about. Wes has almost gotten so scammed
He's
so
a
many
walking
times.
scammable guy. Yeah.
I think he likes it. I think he likes to
Oh,
flirt
yeah.
with almost getting scammed.
Oh yeah. Every time there's a knock on the door, it's a risk for him answering the door.
Yeah, it's some sort of Craigslist deal he's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, lemon versus lime, hot debate. Let us know. Another quick update. They found 6 more classified docs at President Biden's Delaware home. That has basically been a classified document hub since he joined the Senate in 1973. It
So
appears.
this is 4 times now. 4 separate or 5?
4 separate. Well, they found
Four-
6 more documents in
Right.
this
on the 4th
batch or whatever.
Yeah, 4th batch.
Right.
Can we real quick, Willie?
As
going on?
long time, but guys, so what's happening in response is longtime Chief of Staff Ron Klain. He announced he's going to step down. So that's
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
Okay, so-
someone's got to step down.
I want to have this conversation because I feel like we couldn't have this conversation actually when it was just Trump that had classified documents because people get so clouded politically. But now that both these guys have classified documents, let's talk about why this is such a fucked up situation. People are like, "What the fuck? Who cares?" When it was just your guy with the classified documents, it's like, who cares? Here's why you should care. Access to information is like a weapon for foreign countries, and
Right,
it's
they both
not
could be selling
locked
it.
down. They could be doing that, or they could just be getting it stolen from a
Well,
fucking
yeah,
spy who has
here's the
access to
thing
their
is-
house.
Is Trump had everyone at Mar-a-Lago, right? All the people would come in, and then Biden didn't even have a log
No
of
log.
the people.
Yeah.
So
100.
like both those guys are old, and they I bet they're lime guys. They're
It
probably
is a tough
scammable.
look. Yeah, it
I
is
bet
tough
they're
look
both
for
lime
American
guys.
politicians.
Big
on
time
this
lying
one.
guys. You should be concerned about it. I'm so glad they're fucking going after both of these guys about it. Like, dude,
I found
Oh,
these
they're both-
classified limes.
You know what it's
China,
like?
you
They're
want to buy a few?
They're both jackasses for doing
It's
this,
like
yes.
you get fired from your job, and you know it says in the employee handbook, "Return the work computer." And
It's exactly like
you've
stealing
had
secrets from corporate
everyone
companies.
listening right now has had something on their computer that they know is proprietary information to their company, and you want to maybe I'll hang on to this. That's not right.
Exact same thing.
Well, I was people are making fun of Hillary Clinton. They're like, she's probably pretty upset since she had
The emails, right,
and that cost her the election pretty much.
Yeah, her
Meanwhile,
private
these guys
email
are
server.
swimming. They're bathing
Swimming
in
in
classified
documents.
documents.
They don't even have it on digital. They have
it's
it.
a man's world,
They have
you
it
know?
printed out. Yeah.
Yeah, James Comey outed her, another man. Look at that.
Right.
All
She
the
got
men
screwed by a bunch of men that
and she
already
walked
had
into the woods
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
So sorry,
Might
Hillary.
have gotten screwed by some women too.
She might
Maybe
have.
so. Yeah, she has that vibe about her. And speaking of embarrassing for politicians, here is a full video of George Santos in drag in Brazil. Representative from Long Island. Full video.
Hey, turn this down. Turn this down. I think this is well, you might be hearing this, you might not.
Oh, okay. You're saying that this song is copyrighted?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll mute it so you can see his face.
Now you can see some of it.
Yeah, fucking George, man.
George and drag in Brazil.
Look how happy he is.
Catarina,
Very
right?
happy. Very
So happy, dude. He's so much happier than he is in any photo we've seen him.
In Congress.
Yeah, in Congress.
Well, apparently he won a ton of drag queen competitions.
How good
as
is
that
this,
character.
though? How good is this? The perfect storm of when drag queen and drag brunch is becoming a culture war item. It's the culture war item of the day. And then you have a Republican congressman who
But does anybody
dresses in
hate
drag.
drag queens, though? I don't
No,
like,
people hate the idea. It's
They hate
bullshit. The
kids.
idea
There was
that
that whole thing
you're
about
grooming the kids. You're
Kids
grooming
around
the
drag
kids.
queens.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring kids around, right? That was like the right slant
It's
on
still
it.
happening right now.
But our friend of the program, she owns a drag queen bar
Tammy,
in Key West.
Tammy the realtor.
Tammy the realtor, and she is very right winged, and she owns
Yeah, I
she
feel
loves
like
drag
drag
queens.
queens
So
kind of
I think
span the
they can
spectrum.
cross over for sure. But I mean, I just had a feeling this Santos guy was going to be a gold.
Oh, he's
mine,
full
and
of shit. He
he's
also
the best.
apparently.
No, he's the best.
Well, I mean,
He's a gold goose.
I
up
read
for
somewhere he
debate.
said
I
said
think
he was
he's the
in
worst.
He's the
Hannah
worst.
Montana.
I love what he's doing.
The
I
best
love what
for
he's-
the show.
Did he
Best
say
for
that
the
he
show.
had a
Best for
part on
exposing
Hannah Montana?
corruption. Yeah, Pat.
Yes.
So that's the other thing he lied about. And Pat, his DeVolder, Anthony DeVolder was his Wikipedia admin name, and so he had updated George Santos's Wikipedia to say that he had been in a Hannah Montana.
Oh,
episode.
dude. Okay. So by the way,
was a lie.
I did a deep dive over the weekend on what's going on with the
not
campaign
a big lie
finance.
comparatively, So
Yeah, I
him have that
believe
It's a white
I believe it's Redstone Strategies.
For him.
I believe it is. But here's the money line for the DeVolder organization, and here's why he might be fucked. Red Line or Redstone Strategies, right? Which is a PAC, super PAC.
Mm-hmm.
That is the company that took the cash in and then transferred the cash to DeVolder Corp. Right? Issue being, Santos is a principal in both companies. That's effectively very illegal. If you're a super PAC,
wow,
you can't be talking directly to the candidate.
So that's probably a violation right there. Yeah.
Both the super PAC and
Prove
DeVolder Corp have the same
Prove
address.
it.
They have the same address, Mark.
good luck proving it.
Wow.
He's got
Santos.
6 names.
It's a great
They
point.
have the same address. What an idiot!
I
Sets
still
up a
think he's
super
gonna get
PAC
taken
at the
out.
same address
Yeah,
of his
but-
campaign LLC.
I
would
got
be
him last
wild
in all
if he
term,
stayed.
fellas.
Okay.
We'll see what happens, Mark. That's the beauty of that one. We will watch that unfold. Okay, bad news comes in threes. So here's a trio. Google is back in the soft corner. Well, they're in the soft corner, probably for the first time on this show, and you'll hear why in a second. Splash Mountain has closed down, the iconic ride at Disney World, Orlando. And the Lunar New Year of the Rabbit is off to a very bad start in Los Angeles. But first up, let's take it to the soft corner.
Sitting in the corner of the Macho Man Randy Savage is quite an honor.
I got to ask you real quick, Will,
certainly
because
is.
I don't know if Mark's been. I haven't been. Is Space Mountain shutting down a big deal or not? Or Mark, have you
Splash
been? I don't
Mountain.
know.
Splash
Mountain.
Mountain.
Of course,
Iconic
been.
I haven't been.
Of course, I've been to Disney World.
I haven't been. Is it a big deal?
Oh, it's a huge deal.
I mean,
it was
it's
trending.
a big ride.
It's a huge ride. It's a big.
Is
I don't
it?
say.
No,
I'm-
but we
like-
talked about this years ago, isn't it? It's 'cause
Right,
it's-
right. They announced
it's
it a
based
while
off
ago.
of
We'll get back to
old
it.
racist cartoon.
Right, right.
Oh,
We'll get
okay.
back to it.
It's the
Okay.
Tar Baby thing. We talked about this
We'll
years
get back
ago.
to
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Song
they
of the
announced
South.
it a long time ago, and it is a big deal because it was
Friar
trending.
Rabbit and and then the kids
They
like, covered
based
in
the
tar.
ride on Song of
Rare.
the South.
We'll get back
Yeah,
to it. You
yeah.
guys
The
just
one
want to do
movie
that
that
one
they
first?
pulled.
And-
No, I'm sorry.
You want
Okay.
to just leave the
No,
soft
no.
I
corner?
didn't know.
and-
Well, I just
No, it's
no.
the soft
Please
corner.
go for it. So throw those motherfuckers in there. Whoever you're throwing in there.
Google.
Google. Google announced that they laid off 12,000 employees last week, which is 6% of their workforce. And they did it all via email sometime after work ended last Thursday and then last Friday morning. Meaning that many of those employees learned that they were fired for the first time because that their key cards didn't work at the door on Friday morning. So you're going into work with your buddies, maybe you carpool or whatever, and everybody can get in but you because you got canned, but you didn't check your email, so you didn't know you got fired because they never told you besides just the email.
They sent an email overnight.
I want to see proof of that because that sounds like a crybaby thing.
The proof of it is actually the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, confirmed that in his blog.
There you go.
Taking it to the internet at Unusual Whales tweets, Google NYC employees who arrived at the office early today, this was last Friday, stood in line to test their badges. If a light turned red, it meant you'd been laid off. If it was green, you were safe, could go in per Decrypt Media. And then Twitter added the context to it, and they said, an email was sent overnight to the Google employees that got laid off. The persons that showed up to work without checking their email found out by attempting to use their access badges at the office. That was from the Google CEO's own blog, where he was explaining
who checks
quote
their
unquote
emails
taking
overnight?
Responsibility.
Hold on, though. Right. Can I tell you guys something about a little? I have a bunch of friends that work at Google, so I got a couple pieces of inside baseball.
Gutless to do it overnight on the email.
But check this out,
They can't even
Mark.
face-to-face people?
Check this out, guys. At Google, if you live in San Francisco area, for example, you don't drive. Google has their own bus, right? So you give Google your address, and the bus will come.
Drove?
Dude, they
check it out.
They need to Google.
But Will, the reason being,
and integrity
is because they want you working on the bus while you're on your commute. That's why they do that. So you should. It's a culture of you should have checked your email.
The boss that morning was like, "Did you check your email?"
Breathtaking softness from Google. They can't even
pull
give
the early stop.
Yeah, I'd like to get off.
So you're supposed to check your email 24/7.
Yes.
It's breathtaking softness, Pat. They can't even give 12,000 mostly high-paid senior employees face-to-face layoffs after tons of years of service. That is what they call both soft and cold, the worst combination on planet Earth. Scrooge Goal is also delaying their end-of-year bonuses in 2023 from last year to non-executive staff on top of all this because they're soft as baby shit. They made $17 billion in profit just last quarter.
It's jelly
and yet
of the
they're
month
treating
club.
Their employees like this.
Oof,
I mean,
this is tough.
Soft corner.
I've worked in several companies that badge in big companies, huge companies, and sometimes the badges don't always work. Like it's not like, oh, my badge doesn't work, I'm fired.
Right, you might have thought it was a mistake.
There's like all sorts
mistake.
of confusion going on, and then it's just heartbreak. You're like, oh, it's another day where the badge didn't work or something. Your badge didn't work. Your badge worked. What's going on? And then you check your email. You just start crying in front of your friends.
It's like 1940s meatpacking treatment.
Yeah,
I went to the Children's Museum today in Staten Island, and I was just hanging out watching my kid play with some science exhibit. Well, and eavesdropping, as I do on everyone's conversation, trying to pick up a hot scoop, journalism, #journalism. And there was a woman there that works at Google, and she was talking about it. And she was like, shit is fucked. And the dude was like, what's going on? She goes, no one knows who got fired, and they were key people in certain key projects.
No, they were all high, Pat, but they were mostly
so they're like, they don't know who to report to.
People.
Yeah.
They trimmed the top. They trimmed the top and did it this way. They're the softest company on planet Earth. They didn't have the balls to do it face to face because they're soft little bitches.
And they're suppressing searches. Like I just Googled Google is heartless, and they're bringing up a bunch of like songs and books like about hearts.
Yeah, there's
no mention of their company firing 12,000 people.
They're running away from what they did because they're soft little bitches. That's
my God, there's a fucking product called the Google Fire. I didn't even know. Come on, guys.
I just Googled Google CEO has micro penis. Nothing.
Yeah, the Google Fire. Apparently, I'm sure this was a product last week. Bullshit. It's essentially some sort of stick for you get TV on, I guess.
They're really suppressing the searches.
But they also fired 18,000 people. Big downturn in the.
It's a lot, man.
But everybody handled it.
Start with laundry. Start with the laundry budget.
Economic downturns happen. Being a shitty employer that fires people over email overnight doesn't have to happen. That's on Google. That's why they're in the software.
Most companies do it face to face, like Will mentioned. I know it's a slightly different.
I used
world.
to have to do it.
Exactly.
It's important.
It's a slightly different world post-COVID, right? Where there's a lot of remote work, but you can't. do an email overnight, and then these are the people that are showing
soft
up to work.
If you're firing a long-term
because they're badging in,
with
so
no
these people
conversation.
could have been told face to face.
Soft.
It's just so weird because this is the company of culture. Like
no, it's not. They say that they're just
it's just
but but
Well,
I'll tell you.
They do the fun little Google things.
I have so many. I have not so many. I have 5 friends, 6 friends that work there, and they all fucking love it because like you roll in with your laundry, they do your laundry, you can take food home.
Face to face.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. Something shifted. Something shifted.
Sundar Pichai is the new CEO. He decided to do this. Another layoff was at Disney this weekend, and it was the iconic, apparently controversial ride Splash Mountain. Now we covered it before about what's included in the story.
Years ago,
King of the
Well,
Segway.
they announced it a while back, and we covered it then, but they just retired the ride officially on January 22nd, Sunday. So I just thought the animatronic fox was a little creepy as a kid when I went on the ride, but apparently the Brer Rabbit story included a racist song as Mark talked about earlier. So now Splash Mountain will be Tiana's Bayou Adventure starting in 2024 based on The Princess and the Frog. And it seems like
we'll know. We'll know.
Well, of course, but it's 2 Southern themed movies. It seems like pretty much the same ride to me, just Bayou themed, which there's nothing racist at all in the bayous of the South for sure. So that's a good call by Disney to make that change right
Couldn't
there.
they just get rid of the one racist baby thing?
You think, Mark, but
no,
not
dude,
everybody.
They had to pull the entire movie. Think about how dumb this is. The ride is based on the literally only movie that you can't get from the Disney Vault ever because it's too racist.
Right. Song of the South, you said, right?
Yes.
Song of the South. But it has a lot of other classics like Zippity Doo Dah. Anyways, not everybody is handling the retirement of this iconic ride well. Taking it to the internet, let's hear from @Splash Mountain Rocks 012 on the Splash Mountain Telegram page. He posted this video there of his experience on Splash Mountain's last day, Sunday, January 22nd.
Rabbit in his laughing place. So be sure to say hi. Those critters love when folks drop in.
All right, I'm taking the train over to my favorite ride for the very last time. And would you look at those trees and rocks? You can really see how racist they are from this angle. And would you look at the chickens on that steamboat? Avert your eyes, kids. Oh, man. Not like some of us love this ride or made it our whole identity or nothing like that.
This poor guy.
Yeah, @Splash Mountain Rocks 012. It's tough. Okay, let's get in line. And look at all these racists come together to ride this log flume one last time. Hopefully they let us ride the next one, even though we were fans of this one. Who knows? Okay, one last time to admire these allegedly racist stuffed animals. Whew, it was good while it lasted, friends. It's the truth. It's actual. Everything is
Oh, okay. This is the fun part. We're going down the flume.
Hell yeah.
Why do I hate black people now?
Oh my God! We just committed a hate crime. Somebody call the cops. Yeah, tough for @Splash Mountain.
I get the satire. Well, I get it. I get what you're saying.
That wasn't me. That was @Splash Mountain.
No, I know. I was saying what you're saying through journalism by finding.
That guy loves that ride.
Yeah, that's tough. I still think the Bayou ride is going to be fine, but hopefully guys like that and others like him can successfully migrate the transition. You know, because it's going to be a lot for somebody who was all about Splash Mountain before.
It's interesting because it's like so the movie is racist as fuck. By the way, it's really terribly racist. It's a good thing that you can't find Song of the South in some respects, especially in the Disney catalog. You shouldn't remove any film, but move it to a different place, right? The ride though, without that context,
Zippity Doo Dah.
It's just a ride. You're right. It's just a ride.
Is a great song, but further down in the movie when it zip tie that Negro, that's when they go off.
That was
they
not
go
a good
off
one.
the deep end a little bit.
They just don't do that in the ride. I don't know. Again, I
did
fine
pull the movie.
with the change.
It's a little bit.
Some folks aren't. Vaudevillian,
is that what they're called? The back in the day,
some folks aren't going to be fine with it.
Minstrel show is what you're talking about.
Minstrel show. It's a little minstrelly.
I mean, they're moving it to the Bayou, so how can I complain?
Look,
anyways,
but like,
final bit of bad
truth
news.
be told, well, I just want to say before we move on that look, the biggest anti-Semite you'll ever meet he's frozen somewhere in Arizona. His name's Walt Disney.
Yeah, Walt Disney. Yeah, true. They're running from their past, Pat. And final bit of bad news. Not a layoff, thankfully, but actually much worse than that. Way worse. At least 10 people were killed and 10 others wounded in a shooting Saturday night at 10:22 p.m. in Monterey Park, Los Angeles, inside a Chinese-owned ballroom, which was very near Lunar New Year of the Rabbit Party. And the police think they located the suspect's white van in Torrance, which is nearby in L.A. And L.A. County Sheriff Robert Luna has the suspect's image extremely clear. If you haven't seen the mugshot yet, or the suspect, it's an elderly Asian man, and they have him very clearly on surveillance camera. And so they think they found him. Eric, you can tell us in the private chat if everything's like, if he's been shot by the police or if he's been arrested at this point. But they think they found his van in Torrance, and they thought that another incident in Alhambra, a couple 20 to 30 minutes after the Monterey shooting, 2 miles north, could have been related, where a group of partygoers wrestled a gun away from an Asian male suspect. So a lot up in the air still right now. And the latest on the motive is that it could have been just as simple as a man getting snubbed from being invited to the Lunar New Year ball with his wife. So really sad. Really sad stuff out of LA.
That's sad.
Yeah. So, Eric, I don't know if there's anything more that's happened in Torrance. I know that's where the cops were at when I was researching it, but just let us know, and we'll move on, because that's a really sad subject. Hope the rest of the Year of the Rabbit goes much better than that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really bad. It was tough, too, because at first, obviously, people were trying to label it as a hate crime before they understood the full details of what's going on. So it's just...
Not a lot of good news to start the week this week.
No, well, anyways, that's...
Well, if you hate Splash Mountain,
let's move on to some sweet.
That's like the best news is Splash Mountain getting canceled.
Well, those three.
That's bad. Yeah. Okay.
But Mark, we're going to move on to some sweet trending discoveries, though. It's not all bad. At least they discovered vagina-shaped clouds in Bursa, Turkey last week.
Whoa, run that one right back for me, William.
Yeah, these are vagina-shaped clouds in Bursa, Turkey. Last Thursday, people got photographs of
the guy that bangs aliens like I told you.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying UFOs, but no chance.
I've been telling you for years. They come out of the vagina clouds.
They might, but no. These are vagina-shaped clouds, 100%.
That's never seen a cloud like that.
Yeah, there's some kind of name for it.
I want to lick that cloud.
I want in.
Shaped.
Yeah.
If I was a pilot, I'll be honest. If I'm a pilot, I am diverting my route, and I'm going right inside that motherfucker.
You got to find out.
You just hear, "Where's Jones going? Where's Cassidy going?"
Everyone, please buckle up. We're going to be banking hard left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they flew
it's
a plane
glorious.
Through it, but as you can see, they put a jet right next to it and took a photograph. So hopefully
your jet comes out sopping wet
for research. Yeah. Oh, speaking of sopping wet, Mark, thanks to all the listeners who let us know about all of these, especially this vagina-shaped cave, the Utroba Cave in the Rhodope Mountains of Bulgaria. Yeah. It was carved by hand more than 3,000 years ago. It was. And it was made to resemble the female genitalia in a woman's womb inside.
Some guy was impressed with the vagina.
Oh, yeah.
He dug a cave.
That's pretty, that's how powerful they are.
That's a love
Very
letter
powerful.
right there.
By hand, he dug it out.
It's going to take about 63 years.
Hey, Dave, what's something's different about you? What's going on, Dave?
I'll show you.
I'm about to have to start a project. Something happened last night.
Well, Mark was talking about always wet. Water constantly flows on the walls of this cave. And there's an altar that's carved into the southern inner end of the cave that historians believe was used as a fertility shrine at one point, and still today, I'm sure. Also, another trending discovery that's a lot better than the bad news was the deepest beer bottle in the world was discovered at negative 35,000 feet under the ocean.
This made me so sad thinking about who was drinking that beer bottle.
It's a Stella, looks like, or something.
Yeah.
So the science behind it's weird because it should have shattered because the pressure, but then they're saying someone was trying to explain how the beer bottle wouldn't shatter.
Well, wouldn't the pressure be inverse if if it filled with water, right?
Yeah,
as it was sinking.
Still, I don't know. It just seems odd that far down there's a beer bottle.
Right.
Maybe like a deep sea creature likes to drink.
Yeah.
It's a party. I hope so. And it was recently discovered that the federally funded Food Compass from the Tufts School of Nutrition says that Lucky Charms are at least 2 times healthier than beef. So Lucky Charms received a score of 60
That's
on the Food
great
Compass.
News.
While
that's great news today.
Received a score of just 26.
I mean, ground beef.
Lucky Charms is all marshmallows, fake marshmallows.
Yeah,
that's how bad beef is for you, dog.
No. This is the Food Compass that was paid for. Okay, so beef may be bad for you. I don't know, Pat, but the steak scoring only at 30 and Lucky Charms at 60 had a lot of people wondering, and it led to them getting
Nothing's
roasted.
twice as bad as Lucky Charms.
Right. And the NIH, who funds the Food Compass.
Delicious, man.
Right. Pat, people are so embarrassed of this that the NIH, who funds the Food Compass, actually are now writing Snopes articles and trying to distance themselves as fast as they can from the Food Compass because they got caught with their pants down, basically. And I want to point out something else about the federal government.
Scientific. Yeah, the data. You can't just throw data out there without some context.
Dude, some of those marshmallows and Lucky Charms, if you don't sop them in milk, taste like chalk.
Things that are also healthier than beef. Whole egg fried in butter, ice cream cone with nuts, non-fat mozzarella cheese, almond M&Ms,
Pat,
canned pineapple and heavy
some
syrup.
of the other ones.
Your own urine.
So frosted mini wheats, okay.
Period blood is on there.
Yeah.
It's really weird to me how many brand name products are healthier than real foods, according to the federally funded Food Compass. So, anyways,
we got a lot of cows. What's wrong with beef?
Okay, so beef. If you should eat beef once a week. That's about what you should eat beef. You get health problems later in life.
We are not doctors. Do not listen to Pat on your or any of us. I mean, like we don't know. We don't know the recommended.
I got to cut down on my beef.
But what I'm saying is this. Obviously, too much red meat. It's linked to certain types of cancers as you get older.
I'm sure that too much Lucky Charms is linked to certain
William.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Any amount of Lucky Charms.
Pat, they're embarrassed of this. Pat, they're embarrassed of this. You don't have to defend.
Put it back up though.
The NIH is literally trying to run away from it. They're writing articles about how they're not associated with the Food Compass. They just pay them to make it. Like we don't know how they make it. We just paid them to make it.
I got to point this out. And look, I was raised by a statistician, so I'm a stickler for data and how it's displayed. The red, which beef is in with cheddar cheese, is to be minimized. The yellow, which includes almond M&Ms, Lucky Charms, canned pineapple and heavy syrup, that's just to be moderated. You just want to moderate that. But you want to minimize your beef.
So you should eat, in this case, as many Honey Nut Cheerios as you possibly can. Also dates, non-fat frozen yogurt, and frosted mini wheats you could eat.
And watermelons, 100%. This is paid for by Big Watermelon, dog.
It's paid for by Big Sugar.
Beef. Yes. Will, breaking. Did you see that in the private chat what Eric sent about the shooter?
Okay.
Law enforcement.
So did they get him?
They think they found him dead inside his van like 10 minutes ago.
Okay. Yep. So that's what was happening. Yeah. So
he's dead. They recovered the gun and he shot himself or whatever. He's dead. The sick bastard's dead. Fuck that.
I don't like that when they kill themselves. I like to know.
Yeah,
that
but I don't want to
to
hear his name and have it all drug out either. I wish he'd killed himself first. Before
it's terrible.
10 people. But.
Absolutely horrible, man. That's a tragedy and very, very. Sorry we have to report on it, but huge news. You got to know about that one this week. Which brings us to better news in
the cream of the crop.
Today's cream of the crop, fellas, former NFL defensive tackle and Super Bowl champ for the Broncos, later retiring with the Ravens, Derek Wolfe. Here's his picture if you don't remember who he is. He's back in the headlines for slaying a massive mountain lion in his current home state of Colorado. Derek posted on Instagram last Thursday, predator control. Late Tuesday night, I got a call from @Hunt Nest, which is like a tour guide, a hunting guide, to see if I wanted to stalk a giant tom male mountain lion who's been wreaking havoc in a rural neighborhood.
They said, Wolfman, hey, Wolfman, we got a job for you.
They tell me only I could do it because I'm so cool.
Was his tweet predator control : as in like
Instagram.
He was essentially saying like this goes in the predator control file of my Instagram.
Oh, it was like that's just the copy. Predator
I love it.
control.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
He had so this Tom, this male mountain lion, had already killed 2 of the woman's dogs and was living underneath her porch, nervous what he might do next. We found a fresh 4x4 mule
now we're out
deer.
Of dogs, so
he had just killed. What's that?
Now we're out of dogs, so he's going to move on to humans, right? Like,
well, yeah, that's the worry.
Right.
That's the worry, right? Yeah, we found a fresh 4x4 mule deer he had just killed. We hiked straight up 2,500 feet and down the other side, then back up again, then back down the other side, and then back up again to 9,600 feet. Exhausted, dehydrated, cramping. I drew back my bow and sent arrows straight through him. And then I had to crawl backwards down the mountain with him and get him to the truck. I fell 10 feet off a rock face on the way down. LOL. Any guess how big this thing was? Look at that. Dude, fucking
I saw the
mountain
picture.
lion.
Look at that's insane. I can't.
It looks like forced. It looks like a forced perspective photo. That's how big it is.
He's like, holding it though, so it can't be.
Derek Wolfe.
No, you're right.
Derek Wolfe's a bad man. That looks like a 210-pound mountain lion.
7 feet long, head to feet. Yeah, I mean,
it looks like you've seen these photos at the bottom of websites. You know, like people will rent advertising space at the bottom of their website, and there'll be like clickbait, like you'll never believe what she wore to prom. It's some girl with big tits. In that same category, there's like a forced perspective photo of like a gigantic bird or something.
Biggest hog ever killed or
something. Yeah.
Look at the size of the paws
that's what this looks
on that
like.
thing. The paws alone.
Right. It's fucking incredible.
You know what it looks
crazy.
like? It looks like it has the proportions of the beast from the Sandlot. It looks like the beast from the Sandlot.
Mountain lion.
Which definitely had some forced perspection angles.
Oh, that's all it was. That's all it was.
But this thing would kill you in a second. In 1 second, this thing would kill you.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are mad at him because it's like they're like, oh, the town infringed on the mountain lion.
He killed him with a bow. Why are they mad at him? He
killed not only with a bow, but it was also
killing people's pets. That's where you like. Yeah. When you get
you can't bow hunting.
I'm not a huge fan of like Donald
Trump
Jr.'s or like the owner of Delicious Sandwich Shop, whatever it's called. I forget, the JJ Gargantuan. You know that shop. They go out
Jimmy
and they
Jones.
hunt. Yeah, Jimmy Jones. They go out and they hunt like elephants and shit for fun. Like, I'm not a big fan of that. They'll hunt a lion that's not like on a preserve. That's not cool. But if this thing's killing dogs and shit and like fucking with people's shit, then it needs to be dealt with, right?
No, 100, dude. This is something so old school about like, hey, dude that left. They could be living anywhere in the world but chose to live in a mountainous area. You want to get a bow and go take care of this fucking mountain lion that's terrorizing this lady's dogs. Hell, that's what we've evolved for, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, no, it's awesome. He's like protecting. He's like helping protect fellow Coloradans. I thought it was great, but that's why it's the cream of the crop. But some people were upset. Also, like I said, guys, it was mountain lion season anyways, so even if you're mad at him, technically legal no matter what. Hell of a hunt for Derek, and that's today's coffee that was brought to you by DraftKings. 4 NFL teams, 2 conference championship games, and only a few more shots to win big on the playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Counting down to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Not a new customer? You can feel the conference championships thrills with the stepped-up same-game parlays all the same. Take your shot on an even bigger NFL payout. Boost your winnings with each leg you add up to 100%. I love the Bengals to get back to the Super Bowl and upset the Chiefs. Personally, I think Joey B is a stud in the playoffs, and the Chiefs look pretty shaky against the Jags. I also love the Birds to stomp whoever they face in the NFC Championship. It doesn't matter who. I don't think they'll stomp them. I expect the passing TDs from Joey B and the rushing TDs from Jalen Hurts to not run dry anytime soon, personally. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HARDFACTOR. New customers can bet $5 on the conference championships and get $200 in free bets instantly, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code HARDFACTOR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See the show notes for the full details.
And look, guys, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm going to be, because a food shortage could be coming even in the United States of America.
Oh, my goodness.
Experts have been writing as of recently. Drought, inflation, and even new policies are pushing America's food supply near its breaking point. That's why survival food is more important than ever. Create your own stockpile of the best-selling 4 Patriot survival food kits. You might as well, right? Better safe than sorry. And it's not ordinary food we're talking about. We're talking about good for 25 years super survival food at 4 Patriots. Hand-packed right in a family-owned facility in the USA. They give over 200 Americans jobs currently. The kits are compact, sturdy, water-resistant, and they stack very easily, which is important. They have different delicious breakfasts, lunches, dinners. You can make these meals in less than 20 minutes. All you need is water. You bring that to a boil. You simmer it, you serve. lasts for up to 25 years. And right now, you can go to 4patriots.com and use code HARDFACTOR to get 10% off your first purchase on anything in the store, including a 3-month survival kit.
Which is what I think that's what everyone needs is a 3-monther because if something really goes down, right, you're going to be looking really smart to your wife and your kids for 3 months. And then after that, like, hey, we made it. It was a good 3 months, right? What do you want from me?
Yeah, when shit goes down, if you have a 3-month survival kit, you're in the top.
You're in the 1% of
1%. Yeah.
You look real good for 3 months. Those 3 months are going to be some of the best. You're going to be the king.
Yeah, and don't tell anyone you have it. You'll get their famous guarantee for an entire, unless it's like a hot chick or something. If you want, you'll get their famous guarantee for an entire.
Let the 3 months supply do its work.
Well, this is part of this. This is part of the system. The
you get to pick and choose who you bring in. But yeah, you'll get their.
You're going to be the most prepared guy on the block. Trust us.
It's like the lawn thing for an entire
year. You get on the dating apps and you say, "Got 3 months here." Yeah, and then you wait for them to come to you.
And then no one else has that. Yeah.
So, you might also want to get a gun.
Well, I think you have one, but yes. And look, year after your order, plus free shipping and orders over $97. There you go. They're called 4 Patriots because a portion of every sale is donated to charities that support our veterans and their families. So just go to 4patriots.com and use our code HARDFACTOR. That's one word to get 10% off. That's 4patriots.com. Use code HARDFACTOR. Start building your own stockpile today. And today I have a new segment for you guys that I'm going to call Two Wild and Crazy Guys, and that's copyrighted by us and patent pending. So that's
never been done before.
Never been done before. Two Wild and Crazy Guys. First up, it's an update for the guy who ingested rat poison from his local Colorado Taco Bell burrito.
Okay, so
people were probably wondering about him, right?
Well, we had some takes on what it could be, right? They said there was no rat poison there, and then we
two
thought
takes. It was either they poisoned him or he poisoned himself.
Well, it was possible that the poison came from outside, maybe.
Sure.
But what was it?
Well, remember, quick refresher if you didn't catch Friday's episode, he got into it with the staff again over the soda machine.
Oh, not again.
And not again. This guy, he got a free burrito, but that burrito, he said, came with rat poison, and he was hospitalized. And in the hospital, it's confirmed he had rat poison in his system. And then he led authorities into his apartment or house, and he's like, I left the burrito out if you want to test it. Conveniently, they tested it. They found rat poison in the burrito. Well, it turns out the burrito was conveniently not in the trash or completely eaten and was available for testing because the man himself probably put the rat poison in the burrito at his own home, considering the fact that he has reportedly completely stopped working with the investigators, and it's been reported that there is no evidence that the poisoning happened at the Taco Bell. So the crazy son of a bitch poisoned himself to frame his local Taco Bell that he was a regular at. He almost killed himself to get those fuckers back for being like a jerk to him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what it was about. It was a lawsuit. It was a civil lawsuit. He 100%. This guy this is a long play, Mark. Long play. He probably loved the guys at Taco Bell and loved that soda machine too, but just was like, I know what I do here.
I know what I have to do.
I start coming to this Taco Bell every day, 2-3 years, make them think I really love it here. Then the soda machine starts acting up. What do you know? Meanwhile, back at the house, I got some rat poison, getting in an argument, poisoned my burrito, just enough to not die. Bam, I'm a millionaire. Think about it.
What about the time
when it was definitely an attempted scam, but he's just a moron.
Yeah, what about the time when he got caught throwing a burrito at a Taco Bell employee's face and screaming at them? Was that
all part of the job, baby?
Yeah, that was part of the long play.
Well, that sort of adds to the fact of it's part of how he's just an idiot. He thought he'd get away with it, but no, it was pretty obvious.
He doesn't give a shit about those Taco Bell employees. Either that, or maybe Taco Bell HQ cut him a fat check and made him sign an NDA, so that's why he went dark on investigators. But I'm going to go with Occam's razor here, and that would lead you to believe that the guy is just insane with the information you have, and he poisoned himself. There was also a lot of video footage in the Taco Bell from the in-store cameras of the burritos being made and being brought to him, and nowhere in the videos did it show someone dumping rat poison in or putting the burrito off to the side. So after the video footage came out exonerating the store, and they told him that, he stopped talking with investigators.
I love the way you presented the story, Mark, the first time, because you left that to the very end, that the Taco Bell manager was so confident that there was absolutely no rat poison and everything was going to be proven. I mean,
it was one of two options, and it was he's a wild and crazy guy was the option. So
it was the one option he was hoping they didn't catch on to.
I mean, you got to Google right? Like how much rat poison before death, right? And then
he probably did. They probably were
Right,
able
he
to
did.
find that. Yeah.
I mean, that was the
Googling,
most
how to make yourself sick but not die. Rat poison.
He might have been
Yeah.
microdosing rat poisoning for
Right.
a while.
Oh, like
that was the
Princess Bride
most
guy.
important calculation he'd ever made in his entire life. That's the most important recipe ever he executed, man.
He was planning.
Well, it turned out to be so super unimportant, actually, though, because it didn't work.
You're right. But he could have died.
like-
It was risky.
He didn't die, though, which is good, Pat.
The thing is
it?
Well, I don't know much about him, but I'm going to go ahead and say hopefully so.
he took a calculated risk in assuming that there was a possibility that they could find rat poisoning in that Taco Bell, which they didn't either. So like, he was hoping that maybe he saw a rat in one of his many visits, like we were joking about. So he's like, they probably have some rat poison because there's a rat problem there, but that didn't work out either. All right, next up, it's one small step for man and one giant step for old hound dogs. Oh, oh! And I know that's a Neil Armstrong reference. Oh, I know that's a Neil Armstrong reference, but his number 2, Buzz Aldrin, the 93-year-old son of a gun, just married some hottie half his age.
Yeah.
She, for like, I think she's like 59.
60. She's 60
right.
something.
So
She's
for a
30 years
60-year-old, if you were to rank her on the scale,
She's 10
she
out of
shares.
60. She's 10.
Oh no, I'd say she's an Apollo 11.
Yeah, she is an Apollo 11.
Yeah, she looks
hot.
great. Looks great for
Yeah,
me.
So
that's
does he.
how long we've been working together, Mark. We didn't discuss that joke ahead of time, and and you set me up, and oh man, it was just. So it was
Look
great.
at her. She is hot. He doesn't look 93.
Dude, do you know? Did you see? He
looks
remember when he
aged.
knocked out that moon denier, the moon landing denier? He just knocked that guy out. That was like, we never went to the moon, and Buzz
Yeah.
was like,
You're
let me
about to
show
go-
you something
you're about
about
to go to the
American,
moon, Alice.
American
Buzz
made,
is
man.
pretty hilarious. All-time classic hothead space guy. He's
Oh,
a great
yeah.
he's a great follow.
He's marrying Dr. Anka Fowler, who's a full 30-plus years younger than him, and is the executive vice president of Buzz Aldrin's company, Buzz Aldrin Ventures. Apparently, the two have been lovers for a while now. I mean, are we going to talk about it is what I want to ask. Or when are we going to start talking about it?
What's that?
Well, I don't know. Does he look 93 to you? He's saying things. He's saying things that they're happy and they're eloping like a bunch of teenagers. We're going to talk about the fact that the moon is like Michael Clark Duncan's character from The Green Mile and it elongates your life, like just
I
via
see what
contact.
you're saying.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh.
Do you
I
understand
see
what
what
I'm saying?
you're saying.
When are we going to talk about it? When Buzz is 130? Because there's no way he's dying in the next 20 years looking like this and saying he's getting ass every night from Dr. Anka, okay? He's not near
not,
death
yeah.
at 93. There are hundreds of millions, if not billions of idiots buying horny goat weed, rhino tusks, whatever, whale blubber, Viagra, you name it, to get their old dicks hard. Could you imagine how profitable moon dust in pill form would be?
Man, I love this line of thinking.
They should start doing it.
I want that. Okay, this has got my brain turning. So imagine this. Imagine you're right, Mark.
We don't even need to have actual moon dust. We can just call the product moon dust
But
and reference Buzz Aldrin and scam people.
Right.
it's a great idea. But in all seriousness, imagine this. Imagine that it did come out tomorrow. That in fact, this take, which is ridiculous, but I love it, is correct.
It is correct.
How fast would Elon Musk get on the moon? Like,
Well, that's-
think about
time out.
the line of trips that would be being made to,
That's what I'm
to
saying.
take you to the moon.
That's what I'm saying. If Buzz released a sex tape at, like, let's say 105 years of age in like a decade of him just absolutely wrecking Dr. Anka or some other floozy, it would be $1 trillion industry, okay? I don't want to wait that long, but I'm talking trillion with a T. It would be a gajillion dollar industry. Moon dick pills, fuck like an astronaut and live forever. That's like the slogan. I mean, we don't have to wait. I'm already convinced, and we can start making money off this now. I'm starting to think, Pat, Elon and some people at NASA may already be on this tip, though, because so it's going to get competitive because word of Aldrin's sex drive is, not slowing down since the days of Apollo 11, probably have been spreading around bars for the past 45, 50 years because Aldrin's just, like they go to NASA Christmas parties and no one can leave their wife around horny Buzz Aldrin who just fucks like a rabbit in his 80s and 90s. And everyone's like, okay, he did something on the moon that obviously Neil Armstrong and the other people didn't do. And that's what's happened.
He stuck his dick in a hole on the moon, and he's gonna have to point that hole out to everyone.
He would have to tell us exactly what. Because I'll be
Draw
honest
me a
with you,
map. Hey, Buzz, draw me a map, okay?
moon
What'd
dust,
you do on the moon, Buzz?
He did not come in contact with a ton of it. So like,
Well, he got the right stuff.
we'd have to figure
Baby.
out what it was.
Let me fuck
What
you
it
up real
was
quick.
that he did. Because like they're in the suits. Like what is it? What is
you
it?
could get your dick out of the suit.
Is it orbiting the moon that changes your body?
He scooped some shit up and brought it onto the ship.
Maybe so.
He snorted it, or he took his dick out. That's probably what he did.
Look, let's not look too far into this one when we're asking questions like, when's Buzz gonna finally die? What did he do in his life that was so different than most other people that don't live until 147? You know, like why don't? It's not like he took a lot of walks. Like what is it? He went to he was on the moon.
Right. Yeah.
It's the moon. Right.
It wasn't the water. He drank a lot of water.
It's the celestial moon, the celestial body of the moon.
What's different about Buzz Aldrin?
What's different about 138-year-old Buzz Aldrin that's still getting erections?
It's a big question everybody's asking.
It's the moon.
Sense. You know, it's a trip if you think about it. So before his wife was born, Buzz Aldrin had shot down 2 MiGs in Korea, right? Which is fucking insane as a pilot. And for 4 years during the height of the Cold War, was piloting one of the planes because we always kept planes in the air fully locked and loaded with nuclear weapons enough to destroy this planet. And Buzz was one of the pilots doing an 8-hour shift, flying around in the air, just waiting for the word at the height of the fucking Cold War.
Might be something you would look into too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and then his wife was born.
This is the type of guy.
You get a lot of radiation.
This is the type of guy with these balls of steel that he's going to steal some moon shit and not tell anybody about it.
Does he have kids, Buzz?
Probably 150 after the moon.
If he spits, a kid grows.
They got to study those.
Exactly.
Out of where it lands.
He shits kids.
They got to study his kids because they got to. Okay, he's got 3. They're all very old themselves.
They're going to live till 350.
Interesting. Yeah,
just keep an eye on Buzz, who got married on his 93rd birthday and said he feels like a teenager.
Think about it for real though. The stress on those dudes that were flying the nukes during the Cold War. They were just in the air, like 8-hour shifts, and then they would land, and then some other dude would fly up and be like, "Okay, I'll just wait for you to tell me to blow up a country."
Yeah, totally no stress going to
the moon. Going to the moon in the 60s. Dog.
Totally no stress going to the moon in the 60s.
Well, to him, it was a cakewalk, man. After being the nuclear pilot.
No, way more stressful to fly into outer space for the first time than around the Earth.
Yeah, hey, man. Hey,
I mean, Buzz.
Comparable.
They should keep an eye on him. He's got something going on.
I would keep an eye on Buzz.
Yeah.
And
did you see?
And if anyone starts
60?
this moon pill thing and takes this idea, at least cut me a check on the back.
Cut Mark a check.
That's a great point, Mark. Yeah, I think the nuclear moon rocks or something. You got something with that because you could just make it vague enough where
moon dick.
Right, exactly. Just make it vague enough where it's Buzz Aldrin adjacent. And
you waxing over there? Or you Wayne and move dick?
Yeah, waxing moon dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they'll sell at convenience stores.
The more vague, the better. Honestly,
moon dick.
Waning.
Full moon
waxing.
Dick.
Yeah, waxing. Right.
Yeah.
What is it? A waxing gibbous? Is that
the waxing gibbous is one, and then there's a waning something.
Wax. It could be like waxing anus or waxing waxing.
Waxing anus.
Waxing Uranus.
Yeah, waxing. I mean, the marketing's gonna be pretty easy, guys. We got to get our hands on some moon dust. Is the issue.
Oh, there's some dick pills at the bodega right next to my house, and I forget the name of them right now, but it's like rhino jizz or
it's
like
not
it's
something talking about moon dust. Is
people
it?
No, it's not. People are buying rhino jizz and rhino horn. And
actually, you know what?
It's
Buzz
so
is such a common name. Mark,
I dropped
Buzz
my jaw.
Is such a common name. We should just do Buzz's moon dust.
Yep.
There's no way we can get
sue
sued
us
for that.
No.
That's
Buzz's
true.
moon dust.
Oh,
Right, nobody. That's copyrighted hard factor.
Right.
Also,
it's just gonna be a random astronaut, and not his face, but it'll just have astronaut imagery everywhere.
Buzz Lightyear, or like a knockoff Buzz Lightyear.
Guys,
exactly.
Not to be the junior legal correspondent on this podcast, but why is there? You know why there's a Yeti coolers and a Yeti microphone?
Why?
Because trademarks are handed out by category, by class, and I don't think that Buzz is in the dick pill class, whatever class that is.
I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is a good idea. Moon dick pills.
Buzz's waxing moon dust.
Yeah.
Might have to buy that domain name.
Yeah.
Y'all. Something weird is going to happen in Canada, and I want you to listen up.
Again?
Yeah. But before we talk about that, real quick, I want to talk about new goals in a new year. And I'm talking about Factor, because Factor's here to help you achieve each and every one of those new goals, save time, and have energy to tackle everything on your to-do list with Factor's ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Get Factor. Not only skip the trip to the grocery store, but skip the chopping, the prepping, the cleaning up. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy. I'll tell you what, I've tried all the meal subscription kits, right? And Factor's by far one of the easiest, one of my favorites. And they have like the longest shelf life. Like I got the stuff, it showed up in a totally like protected, like they got the bag. The shipping's great, right? It sat in my mailroom for a day and a half. It was still cold when it got out. And then it sat in my fridge for like a week because I ran out of town, and it was still good to eat. It was fantastic. I had one of the smoothies the other day. It's really good. I think the cost of eating with Factor is like a third of what it costs to eat out, take out. And if you're like me, you have a Grubhub issue, right? Like I look at my bill at the end of the month. I'm like, what is going on here? It's the best way to do it, bro. Also, you're not going to be tempted to eat crap because it's perfectly portioned.
You bring
it's
up
really
a
fantastic.
lot of points.
So no matter what your lifestyle is, I highly recommend Factor. Go to factormeals.com/hardfactor60 and use code hardfactor60 to get 60% off your first box. That's code hardfactor60 at factormeals.com/hardfactor60. Get 60% off your first box.
All
right, guys.
Factor's delicious.
So
great name too.
I want you to close your eyes and imagine that it's the summer in Canada back in 2019. In Canada,
Okay.
are you with me? Here's the deal in Canada. I learned this when I was trying to route a tour through Canada in the summer, and the touring agent said, Pat, we can't route this tour because in Canada, unless the show's outside, no one's coming. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, there's only like 4 or 5 major cities in Canada, man. And it sucks so bad there all year round that in the summer, everyone does everything outside. I said, wow, I didn't know about that. So, okay, you're in Canada. It's August 2019. It's a Marilyn Manson concert.
Plus, the sun stays up a long time.
It stays.
Yeah.
So you're at
That's
you're
where
at
you sell the moon dick pills in the summers, Canada.
big time. So you're at a Marilyn Manson concert. You're at Budweiser Gardens Arena.
Okay.
It's probably some sort
Florida
of shed
the rest of the
arena.
year, but Canada.
Well,
Canada.
but this is okay. You should be so lucky. You're in Ontario. You're in Ontario. Okay. Maryland is rocking. This might be pre-rape allegations. I don't know. You don't care.
Hopefully.
You're a fan.
All right.
You're just a fan, and you get hammered drunk at the show, and then you leave. And on your way home, in your dad's Ford Fusion, you get a little confused, and you make a left turn. You should have made a right. And you drive right through the front of a brick house.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you went from having the best night of all time to the worst right there.
And it's about to get worse, Will. Yeah. Because when you drive into that brick house, you sever the main gas line. Okay? It's not long before the alarmed family comes down, sees a Ford Fusion in their foyer, calls 911, and the fire department arrives, has to pry you out of your car, and they smell the gas, and they say, everyone get back. And you get pulled back away from the scene, and you turn back only to see the house that you just plowed your Ford Fusion into explode like it was being blown up in a Die Hard movie.
Did everyone get out, or was it sweet dreams for a few of those people?
Everyone got out. And that in
thank
turn, pretty much explodes the 4 surrounding homes. That's how big the explosion was.
Yeah, that's a real bad. Now you're liable for a whole lot of money.
Yeah. Your name is also Daniela Lace, and you pled guilty to 4 counts of impaired driving, causing bodily harm back in October 2020. Damn it, Danielle. And you got hit with the bill. It was $10 to $15 million worth of damage that she caused with her wrong turn. Think about that critically. These weren't mansions, guys. Some outlets reported these as mansions, but these were just nice houses. And
but it was a drunken turn, right? Drunken accident.
Turn. Hammer drunk, bro.
Yeah, that's the problem.
There's a shot of the aftermath of the house.
Lord,
See that?
this is like the adult drunk driving version of like knocking over shit in a china shop, like in like,
right. Yeah.
Like knocking over a bunch of antiques. Yeah.
Falling. I mean, good thing nobody was hurt. Hopefully, I would
the other
say
4 houses, they all got out too.
Jail sentence.
They all got out. They had time, and it was a big fucking deal. Obviously, 7 were injured, but and there was an evacuation of 100 homes. A dozen homes sustained damage. Think about how fucking big of an explosion this had to have been. Like 3 houses had to be demolished after this. Complete and total. So the entire
it's like a car. It was like literally she created a car bomb inside the first house she drove into, and then set the car bomb off with the gas.
So much bigger than a car bomb because
an apology doesn't work here.
No, it doesn't.
But it also exploded the heater, right? The tanks.
Well, that's the problem. Will so everywhere in Canada, right, is on natural gas, right, and they obviously need to heat their homes because it's cold as fuck up there,
right?
This lady,
without the gas,
this lady must have been fucked up. Like Canada, right? They're one of the imperialized nations of the British Empire, right? We were until we said, "Get out" in 1776, but that's for another day. Canada didn't get the class, right? They didn't get the prestige. They didn't get the artists. You know what they got? The ability to drink a fuck ton and still drive home. Canadians don't fuck with drunk driving, but can get drunker than almost any country in the world. Canadians don't fuck around when it comes to getting drunk. How hammered was this lady to have driven into this house? And how much gas leaked into this house for the explosion to cause the demolition of 3 surrounding houses? Like, insane situation. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was just massive. Massive explosion, and they do drink a lot. I mean, I hope that you're right, Pat, that they're being responsible behind the wheel every time, but as many Molsons as they put down north of the border, I would assume a lot of people accidentally end up behind the wheels from time to time.
I've never seen a Molson that wasn't a Molson Ice in my 38 years.
Molson's strong beer.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so she pled guilty. She's got 3 years in jail. She's sentenced to 3 years in jail. 10 to 15 million in damages.
Seems reasonable, yeah. For
one per house
that
she
magnitude.
blew up.
It's pretty bad. So what did she do, guys? She sued the venue because it's their fault. So her and her father are now suing the venue and the company that operates that venue.
For selling them too many Molsons?
Yeah, because they overserved her.
It's because, right, but I mean, like, you're going to do anything you can when you get a 3-year Dewey and also $10 million in charges. Like that's
she's saying that they put profit over safety, William. And
sounded like a dope show.
Really
good,
was. I mean,
nice Marilyn
so
Manson.
I did a Sweet Dreams earlier too.
Oh, that was good. I didn't notice. Yeah. They saying there was a breach of duty. They overserved her. What do you guys think? You think it's bullshit? You think that
any concert in the history of the world could get sued for overserving someone? Any bar in the history of the world could get sued for overserving someone? I think it's bullshit. Yes, she shouldn't be able to sue the concert venue. No,
I mean, look, they're just you cannot sue. It is never the bar's fault.
No,
when you get a DUI,
you never know how much they had to drink before they got there as they're leaving. That's not I'm sorry, you can't sue the
I mean, isn't that precedent?
Shouldn't
That's
be
precedent
able to
in America, right? It's precedent.
No, the bars can be liable.
I know, but I think
it depends on how severe it is, right? Like you'd have to have proof that the bar served you beyond.
Look, if a bartender slips someone a roofie and gets caught, that's a different story. But just a bar serving someone, no, I don't like that law.
To prove that you were overserved, I think you'd have to have witnesses that say they begged the bartender to stop serving you.
Right, the bartender was like, "This one's going to get you too drunk to drive home, and I'm going to let you drive home."
She may have been ejected from the venue for being too hammered, and because they did say in the lawsuit.
In that case, she's fucked.
They did say in the lawsuit that they didn't get her a ride home, and they should have.
That's not their responsibility.
Yeah.
Her drunk ass should have used the Uber.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if they have it up there in Canada, but look, it's not important.
I've taken plenty of Canadian Ubers, lovely drivers.
Yeah. What's more important is the story that I discovered while researching this story, guys. So I was reading this story. I went out to smoke a cigarette. I was on my phone, so I didn't have the main link in front of me. So I Googled Canadian house explosion, figuring, this one will pop up, and I'll read a couple more articles while I'm out smoking a cig. You Google Canadian house explosion, you see what happens.
Or do they only have taxis? I forget, but they definitely have people you can call to get a ride.
They have house explosions, Will. It's a fucking epidemic.
No, we were in Toronto for a bachelor party, and they had like been trying to install Uber for the past 2 or 3 years.
Right, but we had to use
just
like
Vancouver
taxis. Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember when that house exploded when we were up there too?
No.
That's how common this is.
House explosion. Yeah, there's a lot of stories for house explosions. Yeah.
In no less than 30 minutes, I was able to pull. That's how much work I put into making this clip, which is not a lot of work. I was able to pull all these clips and put them together. We need to talk about this epidemic.
Okay.
It's tonight on what may have caused a Scarborough house to explode. Investigators have been combing through the rubble piece by piece.
We have video tonight of a fire and house explosion in Scugog we reported on last night.
25 homes in total were affected. Now, that's how powerful this house explosion was. We know that at least one was completely leveled.
Regina fire officials now say a compromised natural gas line was the cause of an explosion Sunday morning on the corner of Ritalik Street and 6th Avenue.
This guy's not even phased.
We were talking, and all of a sudden, this huge explosion.
They're the terrifying seconds after a house reportedly explodes and then bursts into flames.
This is all that remains after an explosion on Sunday morning.
And we felt the explosion.
All of a sudden, I started hearing a bunch of screaming and some more bangs, loud bangs.
Sounded like a huge clap of thunder because the ceiling went up and down, and I was freaking out.
Loud explosion I could hear, it was loud boom, and my house shook violently.
A man was taken to hospital and several homes were evacuated after an explosion on Selkirk Avenue.
A two-story fourplex is no more. Just before 11 a.m. Sunday, the house exploded.
One person is dead following a house explosion about 20 kilometers north of Toronto. Fire and emergency crews in the town of Caledon were called to the house shortly after 6 a.m. this morning local time.
And crews actually have us set pretty far back from where the explosion happened.
Boys, those are all different explosions.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Lots of home explosions. So, because they have natural gas. They all have.
I don't know. You guys want to talk about you guys don't
light everything on fire just because they're cold.
Understand how big of a journalism accomplishment this is for our show. We just uncovered something that's happened. Like their houses are exploding.
Yeah, I would look and see if Russia has a similar rate because people in the north have to have a ton of gas.
What about this? I'm going to throw this out there. These are a lot of those are a couple years old, right?
Yeah, those are in the last 10 years.
Before the MAID program.
What's that?
Where they're just killing people that are under the poverty line. Is it possible that a lot of these houses were under the poverty line and they were just offing them?
Yeah, and so here's one. Gas explosion kills 9 people in Russia's
poor people?
island, November 19th.
Oh, I didn't even get
Probably.
that one. Well,
these are Russian. So what I said was you should compare it to other northern countries. A lot of northern countries have lots of natural pipeline explosions, it looks like, because they have so much gas.
It's cold.
Yeah, they're so cold.
They got gas. Well, I don't know. I'd look into if they're trying to kill people before they got the MAID program. Maybe they're
It could be. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past Trudeau. You think he's targeting people?
I think that, literally via explosion. That's the most targeting you can get. Mm-hmm. Blowing someone's house up.
His father was potentially Castro. You never know what he's up to up there.
One of the Rolling Stones as well on that list.
Could have been Castro, could have been Rolling Stones. Probably wasn't. The math makes it that it was his actual dad, but his mom definitely fucked Castro. That's for sure.
Yeah,
timeline's a little fuzzy. I think
timeline is very.
She fucked him when he was about 5.
Castro,
I think he was in the other room as a tyke while his mom was getting it from Castro.
You never know. I mean, what I'm saying is there's a lot of people up in those northern countries controlling stuff that you can't necessarily trust 100%, obviously.
Right. Look, we have school shootings. They have house explosions.
It's true.
Yeah. That's going to do it for Hard Factor, guys. What a great week. Let's get that wheel up, figure out who's bringing the cup of coffee to you tomorrow. And I want to say something to all the members of the Hardo Hive that are in our top tier of the Patreon and rode with us on our NFL Parlay.
Did the wheel go 7 for 8 again?
So here's what happened, guys.
Oh, my God. Yeah, because the Niners, if they score one more score, it'll be under plus Niners.
We had the finale of our season was yesterday.
The Eagles.
And
the Eagles fucked that, but it picked the Giants, so it fucked up the whole parlay. But
we put $400 down.
If the Niners cover and it's under, it is all 4 unders. It went 7 for 8 again.
We put $400 down.
Shit.
And we spread that across 21 bets. There were 136 possible combinations. It was $400 to pay out if everything won, which obviously wasn't going to happen. It was a $6.9 million payout. And I was thinking, let's make it to the 4 o'clock game, essentially, which on the playoff weekend is Sunday. Let's just make it to Sunday.
Yeah.
Game 1 knocked out 19 of the 21 bets.
We should have just flipped the Giants and Eagles on one, and we would have fucking hit it. We went 7 for 8 again.
I think the Cowboys are going to win this game.
It may be. It's 9-6 right now.
And they're about to score.
It's the under. The
Cowboys are definitely winning the game. But
look,
the under
thank you for everyone that rode with us all season. It was a lot of fun.
Sure.
We had 1 win. Everyone made their money back.
That's true.
We'll see you next season.
Money. I think we got a new strategy for next season too. Just sprinkle a bunch of parlays in the wheel.
Dude, sprinkle a bunch of parlays and just juice up the wheel. The juiced up wheel almost hit a ton of times. It was by far the one thing that almost hit the most. Yeah. And then you look, the wheel is hot in the playoffs. You got to know that.
The fact that the payout was like a little, I think $10 more than what you paid the whole season. I mean, it was so much fun. Totally worth it. And next year we're hitting big.
Yeah, and what's great about this year, we didn't win last year when everybody was picking great. I'm coffee again tomorrow. But we didn't win last year when everybody was picking great, but we did win this year when everybody picked like trash.
Besides Storms.
Yeah. So except for Dave Storms.
And Will, real quick before we go, I want to give an update. So if you're not a member of the Patreon, we have 4 tiers now, but we have 2 bonus shows every week. One is Florida Man Friday. It's the lowest and the second lowest tier, effectively. And then the other, for the pop the clutch and send in the card tier, there's the Hive Hour. And on this week's Hive Hour, we're going to be, hopefully, Will, this is what I was going to ask you about, hopefully have an update on our female pen pal inmates.
Well, I guaranteed.
Can we just
Wes
turn
and
the
I have
Hive
been
hour
chatting it up
into the penitentiary hour?
That's what I think we're going to do.
Wes
It's going to shift
up,
for now.
But the problem is look, these ladies need constant contact, okay? And they're reaching out to us, and we're not at our text machine all.
And you don't want it on your personal phone.
We're letting them down.
So we are kind of letting them down. We'll see if they're still in the mix when we come to the Hive Hour tape. But if not, we'll still. I mean, we're finding out so much. We're learning so much.
I feel like they can't be too choosy.
That's a lot of it.
No,
that's a lot of it.
Captive audience, big time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a nuclear bomb just went off, and you have 3 months of meals prepared. That's like what it's like.
If you can't get any conversations going on JPay, it's time to kill yourself.
Yeah.
But it is a great spot for people who maybe are looking to get back, hop back in the game.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, there's
There's
so many guys that I know that should be on JPay right now. You should be on JPay.
Learn how to talk to a real woman.
This Niners Cowboys game is trash. What's the spread?
Do you want a bad girl that will do anything and it's gonna love you? It's 3.5.
It's gonna be a push.
Join JPay. Anyway, guys, get out there. Have a great fucking day.